And he had an interesting situation last week that he thinks he should share with GLers. He said, I travel most weeks for my job and as a result drive rental cars. Last week I was due to work in southern South Dakota and southwestern Minnesota. Due to rental car shortages in my area, I was issued a 2021 GMC Yukon Denali, very swanky, when I ordered a standard car. Loaded, comfy, and four-wheel drive, perfect for the miles in the Midwest in January. I was glad to have the rig on the way down to South Dakota when I encountered bad roads in southern Minnesota. The week was going well with the exception of lower gas mileage, but that was expected. I pulled into Marshall, Minnesota on Wednesday afternoon and checked into my hotel. When I returned to the Yukon to move it into the back lot, my tire pressure indicator was on. Sure enough, I had 22 pounds in the rear driver's tire, and it was dropping. I was 2 blocks from a GM dealer, so I headed there. Here's where the education started. The dealer graciously got me into the service bay right away. Up on the lift, they located a hole 1/8 inch below the tread on the sidewall. They told me they can't repair sidewall damage, which I already knew from past experience. I would need to replace the tire. I said, how about putting the full-size spare on? They agreed and set out to take the flat off. First problem, the vehicle had a locking lug on each tire. We scoured the vehicle, but no key. In our search, we discovered that the SUV had everything to change a tire except a jack. The mechanic scoured the toolboxes and found about 6 keys for locking lugs, but none of them fit my rig. Completely stonewalled until another mechanic came along and said, just hammer a 12-point socket on the lug and it will come off, but it will ruin the lug. I told him to try, worked like a charm. Off with the flat, on with the spare. Once the spare was on the studs, the mechanic was looking a bit perplexed. Next, he pulled out a tape measure and measured the height profile on spare versus original tire. The full-size spare was a little more than a half-inch shorter than the others. Mechanic then said, we better put the spare on the front due to the four-wheel drive system. So he did the lug trick on the driver's front tire and finally got all the tires mounted. During all of this jockeying, the dealer was on the phone looking for a replacement tire locally, not to happen as no outlet had any 22-inch tires in stock. Okay, I'm on my way, slower than desired. When I called the rental company, I was told that I was responsible for replacing the tire due to declining the insurance, and I had to replace with an identical tire. Thankfully, a shop at home in Duluth was able to order a tire and have it on Thursday when I returned home. Due to the size and brand of the tire, the new one cost me $290. Wow. I returned the SUV Friday morning without incident. When I spoke with the manager of the rental location, I asked if the OnStar system was live on the rentals. He said, no, they're all disabled. I posed a scenario of being way off the beaten path with no cell phone coverage and vehicle trouble. His response was, yeah, you'd be in a bit of trouble. No different than if in my personal car, but a situation I never thought about. When I returned, I immediately checked my personal vehicles for locking lugs and found none. So when I rent in the future, I will be looking for 1, vehicles without locking lugs, and 2, vehicles without 22-inch tires. Sorry this went on so long, but I just wanted to share. The credit card I used for the rental had rental insurance as a member benefit, and they will be reimbursing me for the tire.
Nice.
Steve in Duluth. I have never heard of such a thing. Why would you turn off OnStar for a renter?
I don't know. It seems
Is
silly.
it a cost thing, I wonder?
I have no idea.
What happened? What did the manager say?
Oh, you'd be in a lot of trouble out there, wouldn't you?
Well, she are the manifest.
Yeah, she said she are the
How long did we go without OnStar to begin with?
In our lives, you mean?
I've had a bunch of vehicles that have had OnStar, and I never used it once.
No, me either.
I've never had OnStar.
So, what else about that story did you think was interesting?
That there was no key to unlock the lug nuts.
Do you have any of those kind of wheels?
No, I did. I do not. I no longer do.
Yeah. I do this time around, and it's always in the glove box where it belongs.
Yeah. Well, I just thought he had an interesting tale there from a Garage Logic book. Only because they come to us all the way from Marloth Park in Mumfuna.
I'm not criticizing you. Don't take me wrong.
Yeah.
It just really raised my ire. That whole thing. I'm just mad at everybody now. That story really set me off.
Well, it is a story of poor service, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I would really let that rental company have it. I'd really blast them.
He really sounded calm and collected about the whole thing.
Especially after declining the insurance. I always decline the insurance.
How does he pull that off? Did he have a mistress with or something?
He just had,
What
just
kept him
had a
so
calmer
calm?
outlook on life than you do, maybe.
Yeah. Oh man,
Sorry I brought it up.
You're sending me home angry.
I know.
today now.
I feel terrible now.